Today I'll be installing a catch can on my 2009 BMW 535i. The install process should be about the same for almost any N54 powered vehicle. The install process will require you to remove your your vanity engine cover if you have one still. I don't, because I have the PR coils and I wasn't able to have enough time to modify mine to fit over the coils. And it'll also require you to remove your wiper cowl. Now this is a different process on 5 Series, 3 Series, and 1 Series. To do it on the 5 Series, there's a couple videos out there, so I'll just give you a brief overview. Kind of just pop these guys off. Might use a screwdriver, it's a little more helpful, or you can kind of get it by hand. And then there's going to be a 13mm plastic nut there, and same on the other side. Once you undo these, we'll come up and I'll show you what that looks like. The passenger side cabin filter on US models has some sensors attached to it, so you can take this off and kind of leave it out of the way, or if you want it really gone, just remove a couple of clips. You'll be able to get those sensors out. There's going to be another remaining 3 13mm plastic nuts that you just have to do about a half turn because they latch onto things in here, and once those are out, you should be able to pretty much work this whole wiper cowl assembly out. I find it easier to take this whole weather stripping off and then put it somewhere where you're not going to lose it. And then from there, you can remove this piece. It should just pop right out for you. And this piece, sometimes you can get away with just kind of wiggling this around like that, and it will come right out. If you still have retaining clips on this little wire holder on your E60, go ahead and remove them now. I don't anymore, so I just get to kind of pop it off. Eventually I'll replace them. And this whole wire loom, or both of these, can just kind of be plucked out of place here, and you can take this piece and put it wherever you'd like. All right, next step is going to be locating this little check valve. This on mine has about 80-something thousand miles on it. BMW recommends replacing this, I think, 50,000 miles as a service interval. So I definitely get a lot of smoke, and I'm pretty sure this doesn't seal very well. These O-rings are kind of shot and it's not the best fit. So I'd recommend getting that as a brand new part. I'll leave a link in the description where to get that. It's going to be the most difficult part of this process, is getting these clips out. You kind of have to put a screwdriver back here and on the other side, and maybe one more under here to kind of pry this off. And doing the same for the other side is also difficult, but this hose definitely needs to come off. The current one I had on there is pretty much covered in oil on the inside. Sometimes that little flapper in there, I don't know if you'll be able to hear it, can get stuck, and that'll cause a lot of extra smoke coming through the exhaust. So definitely a good idea to replace this valve. There's the new one on top of it for comparison. A lot drier, of course. Now that you've got your new valve, or if you're brave enough to reuse your old one, it's time to get this hose detached from this check valve. To do that, easiest way is to use a heat gun or a blow dryer. Apply a bit of heat, nothing too crazy from this. It'll kind of break the glue. Then you work your way loose, or you work this loose from here, and it'll be able to pop right out. And it comes right off. Hopefully that'll focus for you, but that's pretty much what that looks like. It's got this nice ribbing on it that keeps it intact, or rather keeps this held to it. And this is pretty much just the piece that you need from that whole assembly. Now that everything's prepared, it's time to find a good spot for this. I believe with the hose length that I got in my kit, it'll sit somewhere about here. So I'm going to kind of loosely bolt it up, and I'll show you how that works. On the 5 Series, these bars are round for the strut tower support bars, or whatever you want to call them. And most of the kits for the N54, if not all of them, come with ones that are designed for like the 1 Series and 3 Series, which have a much flatter bar. The backside of where you took that hose off is where the silicone hose will go on the catch can. This is the part that will be curved about 180 degrees. Once you've managed to get that 180 degree silicone hose on, next step would be to attach this silicone hose, the longer one without a curve, onto that new flapper, and then reinstall the flapper valve thing back to where it goes. And some of these kits you do have to cut this hose to length, which I did. I might have to cut it a little bit shorter. And then we're going to mount up the catch can. You'll notice I took this support bar off. It's having some difficulty getting this hose to go over that little intake sensor thing over there that goes on to the inlet. It's because this kit I got, this eBay kit, this inner diameter on this tube was too small to go over there, so it was such a pain. I didn't really film it, but it's on there now, and now I'm going to reinstall this bar and try mounting the catch can. pretty much how the catch can's gonna sit. A lot of catch cans are labeled in and out. This one's unlabeled, but I opened it up. The side with the baffle on it and the filter is gonna be the outside. So that's gonna have to go into your intake track, and the in is just gonna be coming from that little check valve. And this is pretty much situated, it's pretty tight here. Shouldn't cause too much, shouldn't cause too many issues if it just sits here not being secured until I make a bracket for it, because as you can see, this clip that comes with it, this little bracket, is just not big enough to go over this strut tower support bar, just because these kits mostly come with this flat style clamp that the 3 Series and 1 Series both use. So I'm going to put everything back together. Well, actually, before I do that, I'm going to start it and make sure there's no weird leaks or anything happening coming out of it. Man, it's so noisy without that engine cover. Those injectors are so loud. But I just ran over it. There's no leaks, no weird smoke coming out of the exhaust pipe. Normally on cold starts, you'd get some smoke coming out of the exhaust. And fortunately, there is no smoke. There it is, it's all back together now. Certainly got hot out here. That's gonna pretty much do it for this DIY video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm gonna check the catch can back probably in a couple of weeks, see how much oil it picked up, or if it didn't pick up any oil at all. Since it was smoking so much, I think it's definitely gonna capture some oil. Make sure you leave a thumbs up, share it with a friend if you thought it was helpful and it might help them as well, and make sure to subscribe as always too. Remember to keep it foul.